Despite substantial gains in economic development and GDP growth in South Africa, the cost of living for lower-income decile households continues to rise. In an effort to bridge the gap between the rhetoric of national policy and the reality of household finances, Thabilang Mathabi and his team have launched a one-year study on basic needs spending in the townships south of Johannesburg. With the unemployment rate at a staggering 56% in Everton, it's an everyday struggle to generate any source of income. Residents utilize a wide range of coping mechanisms to supplement the small government social grant they receive, if any. As the head of a 7-person household, Mme Matabele spends every day roaming the township, collecting glass bottles, tins, plastic jugs, and shards of broken glass, which the municipal government will recycle and provide approximately 40 cents per kilogram of glass. But Matabele reports that the depreciation of the rand and persistent food price spikes have made providing for her family more difficult than ever.
And food security is something, it's a right. That's one thing that most people should first familiarize themselves with, that in the Constitution, everyone has a right to food.
Matabele is one of hundreds of individuals that Mathabi has interviewed and monitored over the last year. Equipped with a 65-page survey, Mathabi tracks their spending patterns, income sources, and food choices.
How do households cope when the standard of living or the cost of living increases? What are the mechanisms that they put in place in order to be able to survive? Oh yeah. These are the kind of realities that are experienced by a number of South Africans, living in peri-urban communities and in rural communities. And so, for me, the initiative for this household to be going out there and actually doing something to see that they could be able to support one another, it gives me hope that South Africans, especially your poor South Africans, are actually they haven't yet given up.
They haven't given up, but the pressure on household budgets is mounting. According to research released by the Democratic Alliance in May, the last year has seen food price hikes of 14.3%, and the cost of food now represents almost half of the income of poor South African households. Over half of South Africans also experience hunger, while an additional third are at risk due to declining purchasing power. This is why the other branch of Mathabi's Basic Needs Basket study, through a Johannesburg-based think tank called Studies in Poverty and Inequality Institute, is monitoring and tracking food prices throughout the townships. The institute created a representative food basket of basic necessities, including maize, bread, chicken, cabbage, milk, cooking oil, and rice, and Mathabi returns to a selected set of stores to observe the change in prices over time. The results suggest that prices are indeed rising, and fast.
What we picked up in this survey is that your main staple food, which is maize meal, 5 kg in this particular case, increased over a 12-month period by 52.52%. Your rice, at least a substitute to maize meal, also increased by about 28%.
In addition to the 4 major retail outlets, Mathabi also visits informal spaza shops in Soweto. Spaza shops are usually independently run and prices are dictated by the owner.
Okay, ma. Rice. These double shocks that we're currently experiencing, especially with your food prices and your petrol price and transport costs, everything is just simply increasing. Then we're going to find us poor people, at least, or lower income decile households, are going to find themselves in more difficult situations. But when food security, it affects a whole lot of issues rather than simply being fed up and feeling full. It goes way beyond that, your development as a kid, all the way through your maturity stages.
Food price fluctuations are caused by a complex variety of factors, from domestic production to climate variations to international trading on the global futures market. Nonetheless, there is a rising necessity for a coordinated national policy. Mathabi and the Institute suggest that the ANC government should consider both an increase in social grant cash transfers as well as the possibility of a basic income grant. He says that local economic development systems will need to be restructured.
If we could move our government, especially our Development Funds Institute, your DFIs, could move beyond simply being stuck in Pretoria and Sandton and be localized. exist in communities, exist in peri-urban communities and rural communities, to provide support and programs and required material to grow a majority of your SMMEs beyond simply being survivalist.
To Mathabi, the need to address South Africa's crippling income inequality has historic significance.
If one goes back to the pre-1994, the generation then fought to end apartheid, but our generation should fight to end poverty and inequality rates.